Hello and welcome to the Shropshire Ghost Tales podcast, and I am your host, Galactica Transtica. This episode is going to discuss the ghost tales of Daniel's Mill, which is located near the small town of Bridgnorth and dates back to the 15th century. There has been several paranormal investigations at Daniel's Mill and the nearby areas such as the viaduct which carries the Severn Valley Railway system. Investigators have experienced footsteps in the basement of the mill, as well as witnessing dark shadows on the premises. Some say the ghosts at the mill are the deceased millers which died on the property. In regards to the area of the viaduct, many paranormal investigators have witnessed the ghost of a lady dressed in white, as well as picking up the voices using the ghost box of the several men who died during the construction of the viaduct. The mill and surrounding property was first mentioned in documents from the late 15th century, when it was referred to as Donnage's or Dunning's Mill. At the time, the Otterley family owned a large proportion of the land in Bridgnorth and the nearby districts, and Daniel's Mill was once part of their Pitchford estate. The mill was likely operated in its early centuries by a journeyman miller who would visit by when there was work for them to perform. It remained under the control of the estate until the 18th century. The mill was expanded and adequate dwelling quarters were erected before the first recorded permanent millers, the Crothers, arrived. When land was acquired to build the upper or top pool, the first expansion was probably made sometime in the early 17th century. A tiny mill was erected behind the dam of this pool when it was created. The back wall and the river are all that are left of this mill. The bottom of the mill contains evidence of the location where the shaft of the earlier wheel entered the structure before it was replaced with the current wheel around the middle of the 19th century. Moreover, the second mill's construction and the likely enlargement of the main mill building appear to have coincided with the growth in business, and it is plausible to assume that from this point forward it became the living quarters for a permanent miller. The original casting of the current wheel took place in 1854 at Coalbrookdale. Records reveal that the steam engine was purchased in 1843 to operate in conjunction with the current wheel. The mill was renovated in 1958. The restoration required a huge amount of labour, which included repairing water damage to the wheel, rebuilding a number of the surrounding walls, installing a new metal axle, restoring millstones and the timber framework supporting them, replacing flooring, changing windows and much more, while making every effort to use the site's unique material in order to preserve as much of the site's originality. Grandscape Community Heritage Fund granted the mill a £67,500 grant in 2007 to rebuild the overwheel water reservoir that had been removed in the middle of the 1960s due to safety concerns, as well as to re-establish the secondary water feed to the wheel, which required reinstalling both a large feed pool and an underground pipe. The largest still operating water wheel that drives arrives at a corn mill in England is found at the Daniels Mill, which is now held by the Daniels Mill Trust with the intention of preserving it for future generations. I would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and with that being said, all music and production is all my own creative work. Thank you.